Bossman show, joined by a friend of the show, Coach Brian Gregory, the South Florida Bulls. Coach, how are things down there in Tampa, man?
As I always say, it's hard to have a bad day in Tampa, my man. It's been great. It's been really, really positive move for me and my family, and really feel good about the program that we're building and the steps that we're taking. So things are moving in a positive direction.
And Coach, I want to start you off right there, Coach. I know we talked when you first got the job in South Florida. I just want to ask you, what's been the biggest difference for you in the program and the whole, how you have things running with staff, the program, the administration? What's the biggest difference from you from we talked last when you got hired in 17 till now as you win the CBI title here?
Well, I think, again, there was an understanding of a commitment level. This is a program that had lost 20 or more games in 5 straight years. And when that happens, it's more than just within the basketball department. It's a commitment level all the way around. And we were able to kind of map out a game plan for us to build the type of program that we want, from our academic support to the, marketing to promote the program, the recruiting situation, the type of guys that we needed to recruit, all those different things. And, so much of that stuff in the rebuild, or in this case, almost a complete startup, is under the surface. But we got the commitment from the president to the athletic director to the community and so forth. And it put us in a good position to build a really solid foundation. And we got lucky, that first spring recruiting class. We were able to, bring in 9 new guys, 6 of them that were going to be able to be with us for a couple years. And those 6 guys have turned out to be really good players in their own right. And sometimes you got to get a little lucky, and we definitely were in that class. But at the same time, we brought in tough, hard-nosed players that wanted to get better, and that's kind of been a good formula for us.
Yes, indeed. And Coach, speaking about exposure, win the CBI tournament, that's a great thing to win because your guys actually played through March, got extra confidence, able to get guys more experience, and you came out with a victory. You ended the year on a high with a win, so that's to help you guys with the exposure, experience you got, and just they're feeling good as you go into these spring workouts here starting here real soon.
No question about it. Obviously, we aspire to play in the other tournaments, the 4-letter tournaments, the NCAA, not the CBI and so forth. But with where we were at as a program, it made sense in terms of our development. It really did. And as you said, we got to play more games. We get to the 24-win mark, which sets a program record. And guys are able to play meaningful games in March, and that experience is going to, help us down the line. When I looked at other teams and other programs that had played in this tournament, not won it, just played in it, and the success that they've had in the following years, to me, at this stage of our program, it's an absolute no-brainer. And then to go out and win it made it even more worthwhile.
And Coach, I know you do. I know we're playing in a big tournament, but how cool was it to play best 2 out of 3? There had to be a little exciting there for you guys to play, like a series, man. I can only imagine how the guys got pumped up there, having to play like and the pros almost playing a little mini series there. I probably made the guys really hyped for that, man.
It was interesting. It's so different from a coaching perspective because you never play the same team 3 times in 5 days. So it was interesting in terms of the adjustments that were made, pretty big adjustments. DePaul went with a really, really big lineup against us, and in game 2 kind of threw us for a loop early in the game by playing a ton of zone, and they're not a zone team. But, it was good. The thing that was interesting is how physical the games got, just because the guys having a great familiarity with each other. And, at one point, the University of Florida member of the Big East, as DePaul is right now, and a lot of people were talking about it, reminding them of some of the big games from 10 years ago that were super physical. So, it was unique. It kind of adds an own flair to the championship. And for us to go on the road and win it at DePaul was something special for our guys.
And coach, prior by game 3, you about knew everybody's calls. You probably know the signals, the calls, or did you go to a dummy call here rather than say 20 for a 2-3 zone? You probably said something else for the 2-3 zone. So how did that part go?
Yeah, it was interesting. Right? As their point guard was making a play call, our guys were calling out what play they were running. So it was. We felt going into Game 3 that they were going to continue to play us a lot of zone. So when you played that was our 38th game of the season. When you get to that point, you can make some adjustments on some of your sets, and we altered a couple of our zone offensive big hitters, and they were successful that game because they weren't called out to play and they were looking for something different. But you do get to a point though where you say, okay, this is what we're good at, this is what we're going to run. Go ahead and try to stop it.
And Chicago players who prepared a trophy this year helped you get this 24-win CBI title. For listeners who may not be familiar with your team, they should, but guys, I am. Share some listeners, some guys who really played big roles for you this year.
I think that the guys that had unbelievable years for us. Quincy Lebo is a junior for us. He's actually a transfer from Gardner Webb that made the NCAA tournament this year, and kind of a 6'1" power point guard, but he's the only guard in the country to lead the conference, both assists and steals. He was top 5 in the country in steals. And a matter of fact, even with Taco Fall from Central Florida in our league, LaQuincy was named a defensive player in the American Athletic Conference. David Collins was a team all AAC member. He's from Youngstown, Ohio, sophomore guard. Both him and LaQuincy are, Quincy will be a senior next year, David Jr., and David was the MVP of the CBI. Alexis Yetna is a freshman in Paris, France. He was the freshman of the year in our league. So we had a defensive player of the year and the freshman of the year and then 2 all-league players. All those guys down from that first spring recruit class that we brought in. So, pretty good nucleus. And then one guy that had a tremendous freshman year is Michael Dura. Right, he went to Westlake, won a state championship there. His 7-foot freshman center. He had a tremendous year for us. Started every game. The last 15 games of the season, averaged nearly 10 rebounds a game. He's a guy that, before it's all said and done, and even maybe next year as a sophomore, is a consistent double-double guy. So he made great strides for us this year. It was obviously tremendous on the defense end, but we got our whole nucleus back. We returned 9 out of our top 10 scorers. So we're in a good position to take another jump next year.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of that, Coach, your player development program, I know it's starting up here real soon. You got 4 hours now, which is better than when you had a 2. So I know that you have having 4 hours to get on the court.
Right.
Work after the guys. So what's the plan this year with your returning guys to kind of get them more physically, mentally, emotionally prepared next year in the AAC? Because the American Conference, man, it's getting better by the day with the coaches you had in the league and then the talent in the league now.
Right. And that's, this is, this phase of the year, everything's about player development. Everything's about individual improvement. We won't do enough until we start getting ready to make our international trip at the beginning of August. So now it's getting better at individuals. You meet with the guys, you go over what they want in terms of what they think they need to work on to get better. You combine that with what our goals are for them, and then you kind of put together the individual plan. Because, the one thing is we get to spend that time with them, which is crucial. But to be honest, to get to where you want to get, that's not enough time. They got to spend time on their own. They got to get in the gym on their own. They got to work on their game on their own, but you got to be intentional when it comes to what you want to get done. You just can't be haphazard and just go in the gym and do nothing. You got to understand what you need to work on, and every day you got to have the daily habits necessary to get to the point you want to get to. And those daily habits are what drive you.
You got that right, Coach. And also, Coach, with the league getting better, like we saw Houston play Kentucky very well. You see, but still, Mick Cronin did a great job. Now he's left probably to hire John Brennan to take his place. So you also got Ron Hunter, a friend of you and ours, at Tulane now. So the coaches in the league is one thing. The talent you're going to bring into the league is going to get better and better and better. So I hope that motivates guys because you look at the league, how the league is growing is a basketball league. Postseason-wise, how good the teams play postseason-wise. So you're against a great team every night. Talked about in this league.
That's the thing, you said it best. If you look at every program, every school in our league, they've kind of built their national brand on the shoulders of the basketball program. You look at Memphis, Houston, South Florida, UConn, Wichita State, Cincinnati. Not saying that their football programs aren't good, but when you think of Houston, you think of Five Slam and Jamma. When you think of UConn, you think of the national championships. When you think of, you go down the list, SMU, Central Florida, all those different things. They've all got Beta Temple, all on, on men's basketball or the basketball programs. And so we do have a great basketball conference. 4 teams in the NCAA tournament this year. We will become a league that has, gets 5 or 6 bids. Like you're on the verge with about 3 weeks left in the year. If we could have finished a little sooner, we would have been in conversation. So it's that type of league. As you said, basically, I'm going to do an unbelievable job to Lane. You're just a tremendous hire. We know Penny is going to do a great job at Memphis. You go down the list, and you got some guys that have had great success either where they're at or at other places as coaches. And it's a great conference to recruit to because it is truly like an American conference, meaning we go from all the way up to UConn, down to Tampa, all the way out to Wichita, Tulsa, and then down into Texas. So there's a lot of space in between for us to recruit
and
to.
the advantage that you, Johnny, and Ron have is you all know that Georgia here in Atlanta is a great background for great talent, diamond in the rough talent that may get overlooked by Georgia and Tech even to a degree, or Alabama, Auburn. You can still get those guys and say, hey, we're a great conference ourselves. We might be able, so you can still play and get your name out there.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, like I said, we have Michael Dorr from the Atlanta area. He started every game for us as a freshman. We have Jameer Chaplin coming in, who I think was, one of the best, if not, just had a tremendous senior year, one of the best players in the state, won a state championship as a junior, lost it as a senior. Comes from a winning program at Meadow Creek. Just an unbelievable player. Fits exactly how we're going to play. He's going to have a great career here. So we're going to keep recruiting the Atlanta area and the entire state of Georgia because we do have a lot to offer. Great academics, great opportunities here in Tampa. And, a program that's on the rise.
Coach Gregory, I'm so happy for you. I know I loved you when you was at Tech, and I'm glad you're still doing well in South Florida. We'll definitely be cheering for you guys in the AAC there. We'll definitely talk to you again down the road, Coach. Have a great summer, man. Look forward to talking to you in the fall, man.
Till the tears run down from my eyes, Lord, somebody, ooh, somebody, can anybody find me? Somebody to love.
Alexa, play hits from Queen.
Okay.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
All right, folks, back enjoy the Bossman show. We have a former Atlanta Hawk here with us. He's now the coach of Vanderbilt. The Commodores up in Nashville. Coach Jerry Stackhouse. Stack, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Just, obviously, last few days, man. Things kind of finally settle in a little bit now, but it's great, man. Really excited to be here in Nashville and be a part of the Vanderbilt, Commodores.
Hey, Stack, what did it mean to you to have Malcolm Turner come to you, man, and want you to lead his program? He knew you from your time with the Raptors 905 in the G League. He knew what you was all about, and him to come tab you to be the man lead the program going forward, his first big hire. How does it make you feel? How does it feel like the Vanderbilt administration believing in you and Malcolm as well?
Man, I'm really just appreciative of it, man. Malcolm's a smart, really smart guy. Man, I had the opportunity to earn a lot of respect for him and how he was able to grow the G League and, and do different things whenever, we raised issues that, were important to us. He was always there to address them and make things right for us. And, so then when he, reached out to me about this job, man, it's like, obviously I felt like I was on a trajectory to get an NBA job, but with, him, they really sought after him to come and be the face of this whole institution as far as the athletics department, and he even has a seat at the table, on the chancellor's office. He's also a vice chancellor. So, when he reached to me about doing it, I just couldn't really say no, man. It's just a great opportunity for me to come to one of the best academic institutions in the country and start a program, that has really been down. Obviously had a bad year last year, and now I have an opportunity to come in and build something that could last for a long time. So I'm excited about that.
And Stack, you were probably the best conference for basketball for his coaches' names right now for all the guys you got in the league now. We've now adding Muss, got Nate Oates down there, add yourself, man. All got Coach Cali, Kentucky, Bruce Pearl made it to the Final Four, man. The SEC has a lot of great coaches and a lot of great teams are going to be good competing, eating each other up next year. I see already.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of movement this year, and but just be ready, just kind of go and compete, man. No, let it all hang out. Great coaches, great league, high level players. Bruce Pearl was able to get a team to a Final Four this year, so we definitely got our work cut out for us. But we're going to approach it the same way we did 905, and try to build a culture, and then the winning and kind of take care of yourself from there.
You kind of led me to my next point here, Stack, is the fact that you showed you can develop players. You coached at a developmental league, the G League. In college, now you're developing young men who want to probably play in the NBA, overseas, max them out for what they're going to be. So I feel like you've showed it already as a head coach. You can coach at a developmental level and develop guys, make them play well, embody your system, and play the right way, and win. Coaching in your way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it, man. Just understanding that it's a process, Even with those teams, like we had a good team that first year. We got off to a pretty good start, but the second year that wasn't the case. We had 15 totally new pieces. We started out 4-10, and just had to work our way into becoming a good team. But we were consistent with our message, consistent with our approach, and like I said, that's the way we're going to approach this is the same way, man. Knowing that it's but I met with our guys today for the first time individually. We met together as a group, but I mean, it's a talent, man. These guys are excited, so I'm really, really happy to be able to coach them and figure out what we can do. I mean, obviously there's a lot. It only can go up from how they had finished last year, but I don't think their spirit is broken, and feel like we can really accomplish something. Can have an uptick this year.
That's what I didn't notice about that group last year, Stack, was that they were still close together. They never gave up on each other. They was going through a hard time, but you saw on the bench those guys were still connected to each other. You can feel the energy for one another, how they loved each other still, through that adversity and that hard time. So for you coming in now, being able to come here in this spring, get those guys, give them that little boost of energy, show them what you're about, and they probably know who you are because of your name. If they're basketball, they know who you are. So I think that helps as well because they know you've been successful in the NBA as a player, they've been successful as a coach, and now you're their coach, can help them reach heights they want to reach now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of high character guys. Man, obviously, we're in Vanderbilt, so it's a lot of smart kids too.
You got that right.
I just think that the fact that they're high character guys, they really they didn't get down on themselves and still try to find a way to compete. And it's just about bringing a little more structure, a little more detail to how we do things. And I think you could tell the excitement just listening to that, not to take anything away from Bryce Drew, by all accounts, has great success at his stop at Valparaiso as a coach. But it's just we're going to have a little different approach, and hopefully that that fits what we need to do and where we want to go.
And Stack, I think it's good you got this job early because you can implement your system now, and you get 4 hours work with them on the court before they go out of here for the summertime and come back with you guys. So I feel like that getting this job early helps you set the tone for the spring and summer and fall.
Yeah, man, it's kind of still, finalizing my staff. I mean, I got, my staff together, but now it's just kind of the processes that you have to go through as far as going through HR and, find the contracts and doing all those things. So, but hopefully that turns over pretty fast so we can get in the gym. These guys are rearing to go. A lot of them are working out on their own in the gym. I was able to get a little break from doing a bunch of interviews and other things like that just to get on the court with Aaron Naismith yesterday, man. And just, man, that kid going to be a stud, man. He's going to be an absolute stud, So, I mean, like when you got an opportunity to see some of the talent there that we know that we can get it done. He could be an all-league type performer in the SEC. So I'm just happy to get going, happy to get my coaches in place and start working with these guys, get all my ancillary staff in place to where we can really start building and doing the things that we need to be successful.
Because recruiting stack, are you going to try to be? I know the Vanderbilt standard is kind of higher than most schools in the SEC and in the South in the country. So, what guys are you trying to target? We probably target those high school seniors and maybe international guys or a JUCO guy that fits the Vanderbilt mold. Or what you going to be looking for in the recruiting game here going forward?
No, I mean, I think it's obviously some transfers and that could play a role into being a part of what we're doing. But we're going to try to build. Like I said, we got some pieces in place that are young that I feel that we could grow with, and give ourselves a chance to I think the model for us is almost like a Virginia model. Where we got those guys that hang around for a few years and be able to be good in 3 or 4 years, and that way it don't put so much pressure on our younger guys that are coming in. They can kind of learn the way and how we do things, and not a whole lot of pressure on them to perform right away. So that's the way we're looking at it. Like I said, there's not a ton of pressure right now, but me, what I'm saying, I want to win. I don't want to use that as an excuse to not come out and have a successful year. I want us to come out with the mindset that let's do something special, and that's how we're going to approach it from day one.
And I was talking on doing an interview about you on the game here in Atlanta. I was trying to tell the guys that this is how you coach. You coach hard on defense, but you adapt on offense. So you adapt your offense to who you have, but you're gonna have a defensive system. But you're gonna play hard defensively and play that side of the court like world beaters. But you go adapt to what you got. And I said Vanderbilt will do the same exact thing. He'll see what he has on that team and adapt it to what he has and run it that way. But defend like hell every night.
Yeah, I mean, defending has got to be our staple in who we are, every night. So nothing changes with that, how we play, our style, and that. There's no exceptions on that. But like you said, you kind of look at your personnel, see what we got, and then we build from there. Understanding that, we got guys that can do things on the perimeter. We're going to play on the perimeter. We got a guy that we can throw it down to on the block and do some things. We're going to do that as well. So just take advantage of guys' strengths and let the offensive identity kind of find itself, and not try to plug and play. Put guys in spots that we feel that we just want to come in with a mindset. Let them come in and be a part of the dictation of who we are.
Non-conference wise, Stack, are you going to try to play the guys on a little tougher schedule, try to get them acclimated for what you're going to come in conference play there? Or you're going to try to take it a little bit easy there, get them some confidence and wins there, and then see what you got in SEC play. So I know that's kind of a tricky balance when you're a new coach. How are you going to do that schedule? It can be hard, moderate, or a little soft there.
Well, no, I mean, obviously the schedule is already pretty much made, coming into this Super Bowl day. That we, so I'm just next probably going, in the future we have a little more leeway on how, dictating what we want to do as far as schedule goes. But right now, we're just sticking with the schedule. In the SEC, you have to, be below 150. So, we're there. We're kind of right around 140 something right now. So, but hopefully as the years go on and we're able to kind of build a little more continuity in what we're doing, that we can get that number a little bit lower.
And I know since you're a college coach now, I want to kind of ask you about how did Dean Smith recruit you, and how you going to recruit guys now, knowing how Coach Smith brought you to Chapel Hill to play for him.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm coming in with the mindset of, come in and earn it. That's the way I came in under Coach Smith. Not being promised anything, and I'm pretty sure I feel like I'm just almost a carbon copy from him, from the standpoint of not coming in and telling guys that they're the greatest in the world and we're going to run into everything around you. We want to, our seniors are going to be the leaders of our team, and we want you to come in. If you earn minutes and play, great. But if not, come in and learn from these guys and be able to. Obviously, we're able to get one and done, and that's a different conversation. But for the guys that we're recruiting and who they are from a high academic profile, I feel like we can have that message and it'll resonate with some of them.
That's what I got for you, Stack. Is your former Tar Heel, fellow Tar Heel, Vince Carter, 42 years old after a year with the Hawks. You're 22, man. I know you're not that much older than Vince is, but seeing him still out there playing like he is, man, I know you're happy for your guy. Think he still got a year left in him, man?
Yeah, man. Vince is doing a great job, man, out there. Proud of him. It's good to still see him out there, running the floor, dunking, doing a lot of good things out there, man. So it's just, I don't know. He got some special genes, man, is all I can say, because I know I'm a half-court guy right now.
Hey, Coach, you still got to go out there and do some things. But I saw you on the court in Memphis, man. You can still do some things, man. I saw you, man.
Yeah,
you
man.
Still do some things out there.
But I start running up and down. It goes away fast, man. But no, it's fun. I still enjoy getting out there with them and teaching guys and helping them. But, I'm going to let Vince have that one. The NBA days are done for me.
Hey, Stack, Nashville has some great barbecue, man. Make sure you go to Jack's Barbecue on Broadway, man. Check that out. It's some good barbecue. You'll love it, man. I'm telling you. Just want to give you that little tidbit. Jack's Barbecue on Broadway.
I appreciate you, man.
Get you a real plate or a shoulder plate. You can't go wrong with either one, man.
I got you, bro. I appreciate it, boss.
All right, Stack. Talk to you real soon, but see you soon, man.
Okay, brother. Bye.
No doubt. There's Jerry Stackhouse on the Bossman.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay.
Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
All right, folks, in the Jared the Boss Man show, we're joined by Adam Nelson of HoopDirt.com, a site I go to every day. The dirt in college basketball, every level. Adam, what's good with you, man?
Nothing. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you saying you go to HoopDirt.com every day. It's a busy time of year for us, and we love having people clicking around the website, love hearing that people are going to it. And I also appreciate you saying we covered at all levels. I know I do a lot of this. I talk about the Division I stuff, but Division II, Division III, NAIA, junior college, we got it all. Hirings, firings, rumors, jobs. That's the big one for coaches is jobs. So, yeah, I think we covered it all, and I'm glad at least you're going to it.
Yes, indeed, man. Hey, because, I do a lot of guys in the business, so I kind of keep an eye on what's going on with different guys I know around the business. And I see you post something like, I know that guy. I know that guy. Like Cabrera, I know the guy. Travis Williams, I know the guy. I see a lot of guys you post about people I talk to and text with on a regular basis. I'm like, man, the dirt's out there on you, brother. What's going on? Talk to me.
I hear you.
So I use your site to get guys to talk to me off the record. So just don't think.
So that's a good thing, then. We'll take that.
Yes, indeed, man. So I want to start off with Kennesaw State. Now, I've heard Al Pinkins is out of it. I've really heard Des Oliver. But I'm also hearing they're offering a bad contract of 3 years of about $170,000 and no Dobo. So I don't know who wants to take the job with that going like that. So what you know on Kennesaw State dirt-wise?
Yeah, no, I think you're pretty right on where you are. And it's really not. It's not the greatest job in the world. It's not paying a ton. It's not a long-term contract. It's definitely the pool of money for staff is definitely an issue. And this has actually been dragging out for a lot longer than it should. I originally tweeted, probably a week ago, Al Pinkins and Des Oliver from Tennessee, like top two, hot. I think Pinkins is out now. I don't know where Des Oliver stands. I don't know if he's been offered or not and turned this down. But from what I hear, they're kind of making a left-hand turn here. Mike Helfer from Valdosta State is involved now too, Division II coach. So I don't know where this thing is going. But look at a lot of these other searches that have kind of moved quickly. This one is not moving quickly. And I think a lot of it is because it's probably not a great situation. And again, it's the opportunity to become a Division I head coach. But, a lot of guys got to look at it where, is it a 3-year gig and then you're done? Guys want to win. And, is this a situation you can win? I don't know. And it's I don't know. But, you get, and again, from all the people I talked to, it was Pinkins and Oliver, like hot. Those are the guys. And now you start hearing some other names trickle in, which to me, being in this business long enough means, whether they've turned it down or not, it's going in a different direction right now.
Exactly, and Kennesaw State should have money, but they put all the money in football. It's right off the street from here, from Atlanta. It's in a good part of town, so you should be attractive. But you offering that salary, that's an HBCU kind of salary. Like you would get at Tennessee State or something like that, or a school like that would offer you that. But Kennesaw State, you're in the A-Sun, you're in that part of town is very you don't have to play football. So to me, a guy looking at like, really, what's going on here?
Right. Should be able to win. I mean, again, I talked to a lot of people, and I haven't been down there. A lot of people do, like you said, in a great spot, great recruiting area. You should be able to get it done. But looking at recent history, no one's gotten it done there. So, they got to sink some money into that thing, I would assume.
In Georgia State, Rob Lanier is the new coach. Who you handling with him staff-wise, and will they keep my guy Travis, or will he be moving on?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with him. I mean, he's a Georgia State guy. You'd think, new head coach Rob Lanier would like to keep him or should keep him to keep a little continuity in that program. I don't know what's going to happen there. But I will tell you this, though. Georgia State did hire a good one. I think he's going to get it done there. He's obviously recruited at the high major level. He's been a mid-major head coach before. I just think it's a really good move for them, especially with the year Tennessee just had. He's had some success now as a high major assistant. I think just a really, really good move. And it's, hard to replace a guy like Ron Hunter, who's won, who seems to have a pretty big personality and, done good things at Georgia State. But I really do think they got the right guy there.
And Mercer, what are you hearing staff-wise down there with Coach Greg Gary down there?
So Mercer, I can confirm, and this just we had this yesterday, I think, or the day before. Bobby Cummer, who's an assistant at Lamar, he's going with him, and I think he'll be the associate head coach there. Other than that, I haven't heard anybody else. But again, in my mind, another good hire. I mean, look, it's coming from a program that had a really good season, really good X's and O's guy, a guy that can recruit. I think they made a good choice. Obviously a little surprising with them making a change this season. I think that surprised a lot of people. But I think, bringing in the right guy who's going to win some games for them there will help that.
He's going to need to find him some Georgia guys because Macon is in middle Georgia. It's not a desirable spot for kids to go. Well, Macon's not a small town per se, but it's not like where you're going to get guys who are going to Macon, Georgia. So you'll need some Georgia guys who know how to recruit middle and south Georgia because I doubt in Atlanta a guy will willingly go down to Mercer if they can go to Georgia State or Kennesaw right in their backyard.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny you say that because from what I hear, and like I said, talking to a lot of people, going back to Kennesaw, it sounds like one of Al Skinner's biggest problems there was he didn't make the inroads in Georgia that he needed to, and wasn't getting those guys.
He didn't. That's the truth.
So right. So so I think whoever gets that Kennesaw job, like they need to focus, in Georgia right away, and get those Georgia guys to go to Kennesaw because you got a lot of good players down there. So I think that needs to be, whoever gets that job, like number one, bring on some Georgia guys. If it's not a Georgia guy, bring on some Georgia guys and really just attack that state from day one.
Exactly, because a lot of players here who get overlooked, because a lot of guys poach from Georgia for players, whether it be Auburn, Alabama, a lot of Carolinas, they all come here looking for players. So, hey, keep them at home.
Yep.
We can still make it big here because with the A-Sun, Casey Alexander's gone to Belmont now. They're probably going to hire Brian Ayers, what I'm hearing from up there.
Yep.
So, that Lipscomb is not going to be like the powerhouse I don't think for a while. But you got Liberty. So, if you get it Kennesaw just right, you can probably compete for that title and get in that bid if you play your hand the right way.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a very good point. I mean, I think, you said, right guy, get some Georgia guys, definitely can compete in that league, without a doubt.
Now, what's up with this UCLA, man? That was just a train wreck after that search. I mean, you're going after guys you can't get, two guys you usually to make more money, and you end up with Mick Cronin, who feels like, dang, you ain't coming back to me, but he wanted to get the glamour of being the UCLA coach. He's a California guy, but man, I mean, Dan Guerrero, know your lane, my man.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I mean, they fired Steve Halford on December 31st. They had a long time, and it seemed like they had no clear plan. I mean, they chased some big names. They chased Calipari, they chased Jamie Dixon. They chased Rick Barnes, and all publicly, like way too publicly. And then to settle, and settle's a bad word because Mick Cronin's a good coach, but I guess if you're UCLA, you are settling. I don't know. But to settle for your fourth or fifth choice, depending on who you talk to, that's a tough one. I mean, hopefully they learn something from that search. Maybe not. It does sound like, the administration at UCLA has learned a little bit about what they need, in Mick Cronin's new contract. He does have a larger salary pool for his assistants. They are guaranteed charter flights for every away game, which is amazing that they didn't have that before. So I think they're trying to upgrade that thing a little bit. But what just a disaster of a search, and what just a, kind of black eye for the program. And I've talked to a lot of guys about this, and a lot of guys on the radio. People are saying, they kind of compare UCLA to like the old college basketball, like the 70s of college basketball. And that's where UCLA is. They're no longer current and modern and relevant. So I think that's definitely an issue and an image thing they got to fix. And whether Mick Cronin can do that or not, I don't know. Again, Mick Cronin's won. Hey, he was at Cincinnati 13 years. He won a ton, went to 9 straight NCAA tournaments. Great. I mean, is he a flashy LA guy? Probably not, but we'll see how this one works out.
Now, Cincinnati should hire John Bradley right across the river and just hire him and get it over with, but they're dragging their feet. Frank Martin, I think his buyout caused him not to go, but I just think you should hire John Bradley right across the river. Done a good job in Northern Kentucky. He knows the area. You keep the train rolling if you hire the guy. Yeah,
you're right, and it's funny. So, and a lot of these schools are kind of they do this, and St. John's is doing or did the same thing a little bit here, where the logical choice is right there, but they kick the tires on some bigger names. Cincinnati kicked the tires on Frank Martin. It's not going to work out. He's not going to Cincinnati, but John Brannon's right there, 8 miles away, right across the river. Like you said, I mean that's the guy you need to hire. He'll get it done. And the same thing, St. John's is doing the same thing where, that Chris Mullen thing that was a disaster. Didn't work out for him at St. John's. They talk about, Bobby Hurley, the AD's coming from Duke, and Bobby Hurley, Bobby Hurley's not going. But they got a guy, Tim Cluis, who's the head coach at Iona, right in their backyard, who's done amazing things at Iona, won everywhere he's been. I mean, that's a guy that they should hire, like, right now to get that thing rolling, But a lot of these schools, a lot of these ADs are enamored by the name, a Bobby Hurley or Frank Martin or, in a Vanderbilt, a Jerry Stackhouse. When that's not necessarily, the best choice when you go get a basketball guy who's going to win games for you.
Exactly, and this is a personal one I want to talk about. Is Cliff Reed at UMES. They say him is the interim coach still on their website, but is he in the mix, or is he's a placeholder?
So, no, this is actually an interesting story where originally, I thought he was not going to be in the mix. They did not have a great season. But from what I've heard now, he is in the mix, and he actually may be the leader there. There's a bunch of other mid-major assistants that have interviewed. But from what I heard, I've got some really good sources here that said a lot of those guys' interviews were really short. I mean, you're talking about Division I, head coach. Guys were going in there for like 3 hours and done. But Reed had a little bit of longer thing, and I think, again, according to the people I talked to, he actually may be the leader there, may be able to retain that job. So that's an interesting one. I hope he does, because he's a good guy. Thrown in a little bit of a tough situation, but I think you give him some time and he'll be okay.
Yeah, because I'll text him and he won't give me a real answer. So,
yeah. Well, I'll give you answers.
Yeah, I'm supporting you for years, Coach. Can I get a real answer? Come on, dude. Yeah. And now this is one that kind of showed me, like, if you remember what Heath Shorey did at UC Martin, left UC Martin to become assistant at NC State under Mark Gottfried. You got Doc Sanders doing the same thing at Southern Miss, so which tells me that must not be a great job for him to do that, to go to Nebraska with Hoiberg to get more money probably, but it just says what he feels about the job.
Yeah, you're right. That one surprised me a lot. But you're right. I do think he's probably going to make more money in Nebraska. But if you look at what he's done at Southern Miss, I mean, this was his best season. They've gotten better since he's been there. Is he going to try to parlay that into something better? Maybe. I don't know. But, he's getting, no disrespect to Doc Sanders, he's getting older. He's in a pretty good situation at Southern Miss. If you think about it, pretty good mid-major. You just won 20 games. Why not stick it out? But now he's going to, get back to the rat race at Nebraska as an assistant. That's it's an interesting move. again, I'm assuming he's going to use it to get something better. Maybe something was not right for him at Southern Miss, but really just a curious move. I don't understand that one a ton.
Yeah, like for me, Adam, it's like for me going from a host to a co-host. I couldn't do that. Even to give me more money, I like to have my own show, do my own thing. Well, I don't say. I don't want to be answering anybody, get advice or suggestions. I want to make the decision, not a suggestion,
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. You're right, and it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what level you are. Listen, and I spent 20 plus years as a college basketball coach. Right, I was a Division I assistant for a long time, and small college Division III head coach. And I had the opportunity a couple of times when I was a Division III head coach to go back and be an assistant at the Division I level. And even doing that, I've been the boss for so long. Even at the Division III level, I don't want to go work for somebody now. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely an odd, and again, especially at his age and. Who knows? I mean, Fred Hoiberg brought in a great staff there with Armin Gates and Bobby Lutz and Doc Sadler, and I think they'll do a really good job. So he's in a good situation where they're going to win some games, but definitely an odd situation.
And are we shocked that Musselman went from Nevada to Arkansas and got offered going to Nevada Tech? Because I swore my man Russ Turner was going to get that job. I take some congrats on the job. He's like. He didn't really answer me back, but I'm like, something must happened last minute. But I heard he was going there, so I'm like, okay. So what happened? I had a whole triangle there.
I think with Eric Musselman, like he's done a phenomenal job at Nevada, and I think it's one of those things that time has come for him to make a move. And to be honest, the money at Arkansas is crazy. I mean, he's making a ton. And same thing with Arkansas. Like I think they struck out on a couple guys. So I think he was kind of in that next group. I mean, I think Arkansas would have wanted Kelvin Sampson, the AD at Arkansas hired him at Houston. But I I really, really think that's a good hire for them. He is, he's an energy guy. He's going to bring life to that program. And I think he'll get it done in the SEC. And it's, you talk to everybody talks to about Eric Musselman. They just say, he's a basketball genius. I mean, he grew up around this game. He knows his X's and O's, but he also knows the other stuff. He knows how to relate to players. He knows how to recruit players. He knows how to, he knows how to rally a fan base. So I think that's, in my opinion, that's a perfect match, him going to Arkansas, because I think he can really rejuvenate that program.
Yes, indeed. Well, hey, Adam, this has been great to have you on the show. We're going to do this again real soon, man. The coaching carousel is in full effect, man. Like I said, all these coaches, I know them. I text with them. It's like, it's funny when I read your site, I'm like, yo, what's good?
Yeah.
I love doing that to them. Like, man, look, something's going on. It's on Hoop Dirt, so talk to me. I'm not going to tell nobody. Just tell me. It's all good. Yes, indeed, man. Hey, Alex says, have a great time, man. I'll talk to you down the road, buddy. It was great time having the show again. It was fun. We'll do this again real soon, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me on, and anytime you want to talk college basketball coaching changes, let me know. Love to talk to you, and feel free to text me anytime, too. I'll give you some inside information.
Will do, man. Thanks so much, Adam.
All right, be good. I'll talk to you.
All right, folks. It's Adam Nelson of HoopDirt.com. Check it out every day like I do. Hit the dirt from college basketball on every level. You hear me? Every level, people, here on the Bossman Show. We're out.
My heart skips skipping the beat. You're not close enough, so that space between you and me, let's lose it. The way you're dancing, swaying to the music, girl, that body and how you move it. Every time you cross my mind, girl, I lose it.
Alexa, play the Country Heat playlist. Okay.
I don't think you know what you're doing to me. You got
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
All right, folks, back on the Bossman Show, time at Boss and Bone. Now, Bone is back, even though a certain coach told me that he got him fired again. And I only rehired him because I wanted to spite him, and that's why he got him fired again. But this coach did not realize Bone wasn't fired. He had an excused absence and is back today. So, Bone Wiggins, I'm going to let you address this certain coach who's very concerned with your whereabouts and your employment status here on the show.
Yeah, I just want to thank you and your staff for rehiring me. I shared my pennants for the last 2 weeks. So I come back hat in hand and humbled, and I hope I never get fired again. So, hello to my buddy over there up in the north. Hello, buddy. I'm back.
Exactly. And I'm telling you, I'll tell you all the time. I love how this guy hates me and you and the show, but listens every week.
Yeah, it's kind of like those people. Remember in the '90s, and everyone hated Howard Stern, but everyone listened anyway. So it's funny how like you hate on the show, but you're probably the biggest fan in the closet.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, Bone, we have a lot of Laker stories here. One story is that Kyrie Irving's gonna give the Lakers a free agency meeting. Are you happy about that, or is that just a cursing to LeBron because it's him and LeBron made up now?
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm shocked that Kyrie even broaches the idea of a reunion. It's probably just a courtesy because I still think Kyrie's coming home back to this area. But I'm just shocked that he's even entertaining the idea because they ended so thoroughly to the point where wasn't he at a wedding with other Golden State Warriors and they were clowning LeBron behind his back on
Yes.
film? So it's weird how it's come almost full circle now to the point where he apologized publicly to LeBron. He calls LeBron. He actually gives the Lakers a time of day on July 1st. So it's kind of weird, but I don't buy him being a Laker. But it's just odd that he even broached an idea of it.
Exactly. And now we have reports coming out from Bill Oram that the Lakers president, Magic Johnson, is viewed as a absentee executive, and he comes in for a few days and causes a lot of trouble and leaves other people to clean up his mess. Doesn't that sound like somebody in D.C.?
Yeah, it sounds like someone in D.C., and it sounds like even someone more personal to me when I was covering the Knicks, Phil Jackson. When Phil Jackson was an absentee executive, where he was in Montana at the lake house, he was kicking it on the beach over there with Jeannie. So yeah, it's not there's precedent for that. I hope it's not true because like I said, I grew up a Lakers fan. I grew up a Magic fan. He's my favorite player of all time. So to hear that he may be a little bit lazy and lax at this job, I find disheartening. I hope it's not true. I honestly don't think it's true. I think mainly because I am a fan of his. I don't want to be true.
Yes, indeed. And also, the main player on the Lakers has turned off teammates by not being around while injured. Teammates say that he would come to games right before a tip-off with wine in his hand. He wouldn't be in the locker room. He'll only talk to the front office. The young players don't trust him, and the guys just grew more and more away from LeBron after the injury and how he's acting in the Anthony Davis trade. So, what are your thoughts on LeBron only showing up to the games right before tip-off, drinking wine on the bench and talking to executives in the hallway rather than being on the bench supporting his teammates like Rondo was?
Yeah, I buy it. I mean, we've known LeBron since his youth, so we know the kind of player that he can be, where he can disengage as fast as anyone's ever disengaged from a locker room, from a team. Remember the first time he left Cleveland when they lost at Boston, and as soon as the buzzer went off, he was already in the tunnel taking off that jersey as if it smells. Like he just threw it down immediately. So he disengages as fast as anyone. So it's not a shock if that is true. It's not a shock that if there's this discord between him and the youth and locker room because remember he's a guy allegedly that wanted those guys out that wanted to get rid of the whole haul for Ann Davis. So it wouldn't be too far fetched to hear that the reports are he is kind of disengaged from the team. And young guys don't trust him, look at him and so side eye. That wouldn't shock me one bit.
I was one of them hit him in his face.
Yeah, I know you're not a fan of said superstar. I know you're not a fan. I know you had your issues with him. But you know what? For as good as he is off the floor with issues and being a man of his word, there are many reports over the years where he's not been a good teammate to guys, where he's left guys out to dry. And it wouldn't shock me again if the reports are true about him disengaging from the team, as right now.
Well, I have some sourcing because my man's on the team now, Mike Muscala. It's bad. It's worse than I thought it was. I'll say that. Shout out to my man Moose.
I'll tell you what, with that whole thing, honestly, both of those guys might not be back next year anyway. So they might finally just clear the slate and get LeBron what he wants. So if those guys look at him side eye and they don't trust him, they might be gone anyway by this summer. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see July 1st what happens. Is Magic going to be at the doorstep? A lot of guys, as he was at 12:01 and with LeBron. So what happens?
Yes, indeed. And last story I have for you, Bones, is a report is out of again that Magic Johnson, Luke Walton haven't spoken in weeks, which cannot bode well for Luke Walton's future after this season ends this week.
I buy that. That's one rumor that I can't either confirm or deny, but I would buy that. Everything I got, man. And think about it. Luke's been on borrowed time since the very first time that Magic scolded him as a little kid in the office and just berated him and talked down to Luke. I mean, you almost saw writing on the wall then. And now with the year they had and with LeBron being allegedly being happy with the coaching style, I buy it. It's not hard to buy at all.
And now we're going to turn to patheticness of our race. Me and you as men of color. I pulled up to a quick trip here in Georgia, and there was a brother, only in skin only, who was driving a Sierra pickup truck with the rebel flag in the bed just flying away, and thinks that was okay in the city of Atlanta. Like, do you know what that flag stands for? Do you know what's at Stone Mountain, about 20 minutes east of town? Well, you know what the Civil War battles came, the Battle of Atlanta, where they got destroyed by Sherman's march to Savannah? Do you know anything about that history, sir? And you pull up to a quick trip with that flag in the back of your truck bed, and we got all, even the white folk looking at him like he crazy.
Yeah, I tell you what, that when I saw the picture you sent, it was disgusting. Just the fact that just the sheer ignorance of my brother, it's disheartening. I told you before the show started, it's just disheartening. It's not even funny. It's just sad and brings a little bit of anger to you. Actually, not a little bit, a lot of anger it brings up. So I don't get where he was coming from. You know, the one thing, I don't like them skinheads, but I'll tell you what, those guys are not going around wearing a Black Lives Matter stuff. you know what I'm saying? Those guys aren't crossing the stream. They stay true to themselves as
exactly.
Racists. So what is this brother doing, having that flag of disgust waving so boldly and proud from his truck? I don't know who hurt him. Maybe he dated a sister that was just a little too strong for him, and now he's retaliating against life. I don't know what his deal is, and I don't want to know what his deal is, because to me, he's no brother of mine.
And he was playing Nickelback.
See, that might be the biggest offense of all, if you ask people out there. The fact he's playing Chad Kroger, but but this guy, come on, man! If there's a Donkey of the Week award, if Charlamagne can please holler at us, Charlamagne sign his dude and make it a Donkey of the Week, please.
Please, yes, please. And Bone, you sent me a Florida man story, which I found very interesting. That a Florida man was found dead, along with 29 other corpses, 2 tons of cocaine, and a fully automatic AR-15. It's like he had a cult. Of a cocaine cult or something, and took them all out. I mean, that's so Florida right there.
That was, and you were the first person, no lie, hand to God, you were the first person I thought of when I saw that headline. I'm like, this has got to be discussed. I mean, this guy was a little Scarface. He watched Scarface probably a little too many times over his lifetime, where to get the idea that to form this, you say, maybe a cult, to form this cult, and to have his life go out in a blaze of glory as in the movie.
I know somebody's funeral home was very happy. A lot of business. A lot of business. Because, to be a funeral director, you have to be a weird person because you cheer for death.
Yeah.
You're happy when somebody dies. You are a weird person, a weird lot. Like, you're cheering death. That's what you do.
It's a weird lot. Exactly. It's a weird only if you don't know Florida and the Florida stories.
Exactly. And Bone, you're going to love this Florida man story. In honor of WrestleMania this past week, a Florida man jumped out of the choir stand, hit the pastor with a bat while he was preaching, and put him in an ankle lock and made him tap in the middle of service.
So, first of all, I'm surprised that there was no Stone Cold Stunner involved. So he got creative, and he went Kurt Angle on dude, and the ankle lock tap, huh? It's a little variety. So usually in Florida, you always tell me about guys getting Stone Cold Stunnered. So this guy went a different route and gave an ankle lock. So I mean, kudos for being creative, but probably not the best right time, right place kind of thing to do the ankle lock.
Like, first of all, why does my man have a bat in the choir stand though?
Yeah,
jump out the choir stand, hit him with the bat, and put him in line and make him tap in the middle of service.
Yeah, it's only made better if he pulled out a folding chair and you had Jim Ross in the audience. My God!
We in church! He did it in church! He was doing it in church! He's gonna tap, my God! Damn it, King! The pastor gonna tap, damn it, King! He's tapping! He submitted! Like, dude, really?
That's the only way it would be made better. Yeah, and Jim Ross was there, and there's a metal chair, folding chair in the area. But I tell you, I like creativity. I mean, instead of going stunner, he went with the ankle lock. So I mean, next going to see probably a Cobra Clutch or the RKO. I would pay to see an RKO in church. I think I would.
I just want to know what made it did the base. I'm gonna do a stay in the middle of in church. I'm gonna bring my bat. Like, I wonder what the other choir members thought when he had a bat in the choir stand.
Yeah, like I said, it's creative. It's lunatic, but it's creative.
Yes, indeed. Well, folks, that is Bossman Bone this week. He's back, as we said he would be. He wasn't fired, as a certain coach is going to get put out in playoffs said he was. So, I'm just saying.
Okay, can I just say this whole beef, that I don't know where it came from, why he hates this Yankee Doodle Dandy, why he hates him so much, I have no idea. Because if I had a vote for Coach of the Year, I probably would vote for this guy. He's coaching probably my favorite player in the league. And he's coaching a guy that I cover with the Nets and Brook Lopez, who I really love in New Jersey here. So I don't know what's beef. To me, it's comical because I'm always on dude's mind. Maybe prepare for the playoffs in the first round before worrying about me.
I think you're guilty by association, Bone. You're guilty by association because the guy hates me. So you're guilty by association.
Yeah, I get that.
Thank you.
I hate you. So it's like a proxy. It's by association. I get it.
It's my proxy. Like, look here. He talks to him, obviously. He must hate me, too. You know?
You know, that's a sad thing. I don't hate dude at all. I don't got time to hate anyone. Like I said, he's probably my vote for Coach of the Year if I had a vote this year. But I don't. But like I said, it's funny how it turned out this way. But you know what? I will continue to be the Yankee Doodle Dandy. I will continue to catch the heat because I think it makes a good radio. Because you know what? This show needs help. This show is so struggling that it needs help. So any help he can give us, I appreciate.
Yes, indeed. Well, folks, as Bossman Bone, check us out at our website, bossmanshow.com.